Good morning, children. Welcome to our new session. In the last session, we discussed about the first lesson in economics that covers different concepts, like different perspectives about development, indicators of economic development, net national product, per capita income, purchasing power parity. These are all the concepts which we saw in the last session. So in this session, we are going to continue the remaining things, that is human development, and the fresh concept which we are going to discuss about in this session is sustainability of development. And the next concept after this, the sustainability of development, is policies for sustainable development. The last concept is environmental policies in India. So the sustainability of development means, so there should not be any spoiling of or any compromising of the future resources or the environment which we are living. So the present day growth or development should not disturb or hurt the future of the human generation. That is known as sustainability of development. So without affecting and disturbing the future generations, and we have to grow and develop our present day life. That too in a steady manner or in a consistent manner. That is known as sustainability of development. The next concept is policies for sustainable development. Policies for sustainable development means it's a different principles or policies, or they will frame some acts and policies for sustaining the development. Suppose if you make any environment policies, should not throw any waste or through any industries or any other human waste that should not affect the natural environment. So that is, for that they will make a different policies. So certain, whether it is a manufacturing sector or agricultural sector or human beings, they should not do certain things. For example, industrial sector should not generate or create more manufacturing outputs, so that will pollute the earth and the other environment around the factory. So for that they will make some policies. So certain manufacturing company should follow some policies which government introduces, then only it should be a sustained development. So next concept is environmental policies in India. So environment policies is nothing but policies which will prevent or safeguard the environment. That is known as environmental policies. So what are the environmental policies that introduced in India, that we will see in the last concept or last slide. So policies for sustainable development is, the government of India will frame or they will introduce certain policies that will make a development in a steady and consistent manner. That is known as policies for sustainable development. So these are the concepts. In this session we are going to see this 1.3, 1.4 and 1.5. These three concepts now we are going to discuss in this session. Straight away we will move to the concepts. Sustainability of development. Sustainable economic development is taken to mean development without damaging the environment, not compromising with the needs of the future generation. The sustainable development is nothing but the modern day life or the present day life has to be developed, or it has to be improved without disturbing or compromising or without spoiling the future requirements or future needs of the future generations. So it's a simple meaning is, we have to grow now, but we should not affect the future generations, or we should not take the future generations resources for the present day sustainable development or present day sustainable growth. So what we have in this period, that has to be used in a better way, and we have to improve our or develop the life. That is known as sustainable development. Consequence of environmental degradation do not respect national or state boundaries. Suppose if when a nation or a state which is creating environmental pollutions or degrading or spoiling the environment, that will create or that will affect the nation or state boundaries with the other nation. That means, suppose if you are living in India, if we are creating a lots of environmental degradation, environmental pollution, that will create a bad name with the neighboring nations. So just like that, inside the state also. Suppose if we are living in a Tamil Nadu or Pondicherry, if we degrade or pollute the interior and outer boundaries of a Tamil Nadu or Pondicherry, that will create a unfriendliness or that will affect the healthy relations between the neighboring states. That is known as, without affecting the neighboring boundaries of a state and neighboring borders of the nation, the growth or progress has to be developed or that has to be sustained in a steady manner or in a consistent manner. That is known as sustainability of development. So along with that, sustainable development is a comparatively a new area of knowledge in which scientists, economists, philosophers and other social scientists are working together. So along with this basic concept or fundamental concept, sustainable development has to be reached or attained. So this is a new area of knowledge. That means this is a new aspect or new knowledge or new field that has to be attained or achieved throughout the world, not only in India and other parts of the world. So to attain this knowledge or to do this activity or to do this process, there are different fields of different persons are involving and working in this sustainable development. For example, economics. Economics means those who will take care of the economy or income of a nation, or the resources or what are the infrastructure which are present or available in a country that has to be sustained or protected. They are known as economists. And philosophers means their main philosophy is to take care of the fraternity, and they will give some different knowledge about the entire nation. That is known as philosophers. They will suggest some different ideas to protect or to develop or progress in a specific area or in a all over the area of a nation. They are known as philosophers. So along with the economists and philosophers, many scientists and other social personalities, they will work towards the sustainable development. So this is known as sustainability of development. So next concept is natural resources are divided into two. They are renewable resources or non-renewable resources. So renewable resources are also known as replenishable resources. That means which can be renewed again and again. That can be taken again and again, or that can be used again and again. So non-renewable resources are also known as non-replenishable resources. So for example, these are the few are examples of renewable resources which can be used again and again, or which we can get again and again from the nature and our artificial creatures. That is known as renewable resources. So just to have a look into this, these are all some examples. Wind energy. This is an example of wind energy, how they make energy from the winds. That is a natural or renewable resources of energy which can be again and again reused, and it can be regenerated within a second or a few minutes. That is known as wind energy, biomass. So using these products, we can create a energy that is known as renewable sources of energy. And the next is idle and tidal energy. So from the waves and waters we can generate power and electricity. That is known as idle and tidal energy. That is here. The next is geothermal energy. So geo means earth, that we saw in the geography. Geo means earth. Thermal means it's a temperature or heat. So from the volcanoes or beneath or under the surface layers of the earth, we can have high levels of temperature and heat. With that, we can generate energy. That kind of energy is known as geothermal energy. Solar energy, as you all know, energy which is generated from the solar or sunlight, that is known as solar energy. So these are some important and distinguished examples for the renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. Fossil fuel, coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, these are all non-renewable energies. Once they are used, again, it is not easy to generate or create very easy. That will take millions of years and it will take a long time to generate again and again. So these are examples of renewable energy: hydropower energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, biomass energy. So again and again, I have given some pictures and images to understand this renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So resources are in natural, they are divided into two types: renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So renewable energies are, as I shown in the images and pictures, that is solar energy, that is sun energy which we get from the sun, that is known as solar energy. And the next other renewable energies are air, wind, water, tides, flowing river waters, soil, plants. These are all renewable energies. Non-renewable energies are also known as non-replenishable energies. Examples for non-renewable or non-replenishable energies are fossil fuels, oil, coal, natural gas. So I think so fossil fuels means millions of years ago, many plants, animals or any living creatures which they dead or which they are dead and went inside the earth and they become fossils, and the remains of dead animals, plants, anything, that is known as fossil fuels. So oil, as you all know, what is oil? Coal is a part of fossil fuel. Dead plants and trees, millions of years that it forms coal, that is known as coal. And the next is natural gases which we can find in the natural, that are known as non-renewable resources, that if we use more than what we want, that we cannot get back very easily in a short period, that will take thousands or it will take a long time to get back or to avail that kind of natural or non-renewable or non-replenishable resources. Other examples of non-renewable resources of energy are metals, minerals, iron, copper. These are all the other non-renewable and or non-replenishable resources. So this is the answer for question number 3. Differentiate between renewable and non-renewable resources. So renewable resources, as I said earlier, they are renewed in a very short period of time. So non-renewable resources are not renewed in a short period of time. This will take a very long time. It may be a millions and thousands of years also it will take. So non-renewable resources are also called as non-replenishable resources. Renewable resources are also known as replenishable resources. This will not cause or this will not affect any pollution to the environment. Renewable resources which will not pollute the environment, which will not cause any adverse effect to the environment. They are very environment friendly. So the non-renewable resources cause environment pollution and they will adversely affect the environment, that are known as non-renewable resources. The renewable resources are which are almost, they are free and they are gift of nature. They are available free in nature. They are known as renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are not the free gifts of nature. So non-renewable resources are non-replenishable resources. They are not a gift of nature. That are almost artificial in some part of a non-renewable resources are artificial. Some are natural. So that's why they are telling that non-renewable resources are not a gifts of nature. Air, water, and solar energy are some of the renewable sources of energy. So I have mentioned or shown the what are the different types of energies which is coming under the renewable resources of energy and non-renewable resources of energy that I shown in the last two slides, and here also I am showing. Just find it. Now we'll move to the next concept. So this is the answer for question number 5, and it also covers the answer for question number 7 in 4th block. So discuss the policies for sustainable development. So how we can consistently, steadily we can grow. That is known as sustainable development. So what are the policies or certain things which we can frame to grow in a sustainable and steady and consistent development? So what policies government which will frame for the consistent and steady growth? ஸோ இப்போ நம்மளுடைய நாட்டுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்கு ஒரு சமநிலையான வளர்ச்சியாகவும் இருக்கணும். அந்த வளர்ச்சிக்கான என்ன பாலிசிஸ்லாம் நம்ம கவர்மெண்ட் மேக் பண்ணுது, தட் இஸ் நோன் அஸ் பாலிசிஸ் ஃபார் சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட். யூஸ் ஆஃப் நான் கன்வென்ஷனல் சோர்சஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி. That means India mainly depends on the thermal and hydro power plants for the generation of its power and electricity. So India mainly depending for the power generation and electricity generation, they depends on hydro and thermal. So these are almost a adverse effect. To the adverse effect means this will affect the environment, or this will degrade, or this will spoil the environment. There is a lots of chances for creating an environmental impact and environmental consequences or environmental pollution. So this thermal and hydro power plants will definitely and adversely affect the environment. They are not environmental friendly. These two sources of energy are not environmental friendly. This will affect the environment. So hydro power plants will generate methane or carbon dioxide, and that will affect or that will pollute the entire environment. So thermal is nothing but this will create a more heat on the surfaces or the nearby surroundings of the environment. So these two types of energies will definitely affect the Indian environment. So these are not advisable to depend on this type of energy resources. Solar power in India. So we have to depend on the natural sources of energy for sustainable development. Better to use solar energy and other natural resources for the sustainable development instead of preferring the non-conventional sources of energy. So இப்போ ஒரு நாட்டுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்கு கொள்கைகள், அந்த நாட்டுடைய பாலிசி என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, இயற்கையா கிடைக்கின்ற இயற்கை வளங்களை, இயற்கை எனர்ஜி நீங்க பயன்படுத்தினா நம்ம நாட்டு ஈஸியா வளர்ந்துடலாம், சரியான நிலையில சமமான நிலையில வளர்ச்சி அடையலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதுக்கு பதிலாக தேவையில்லாம நம்ம போயிட்டு if you depend on the non-conventional or non-replenishable resources, that will definitely affect the environment. So இப்போ நம்ம கவர்மெண்டோட பாலிசிஸ் அவங்க என்ன சஜஸ்ட் பண்றாங்கன்னா, நேச்சுரல் ஆர் ரினியூவபிள் ரிசோர்ஸை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதை விட்டுட்டு நான் ரினியூவபிள் ரிசோர்ஸை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணாதீங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. தட் இஸ் நோன் அஸ் பாலிசிஸ் ஃபார் சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட். So instead of going for non-conventional sources of energy, we can prefer or we can choose or we can select the solar power plants are natural resources, energy or natural renewable resources. The solar power is a conversion of energy from sunlight into electricity, either directly using the photovoltaic cells or indirectly using concentrated solar power. So through sunlight we can generate or produce electricity with using the photovoltaic. It's a technique or a device which is used to generate electricity from the solar energy or sunlight, that is known as solar energy. So in a large scale we can depend or we can install or we can fix solar panels. Solar panels is nothing but so like this. These are the how we can create electricity and powers from the solar light and sun. These are solar panels. With this we can generate electricity. So this is what the Indian government and other environmental organization they are suggesting for the sustainable development, and this is the very best policies to sustain the nation or develop in the nation. These distributed solar systems are often installed by home and business owners to reduce the electricity cost. So in a easy way to get electricity and power, the business owners or business people and middle class and residents can use or depend on the solar panels, or they can install solar panels at a limited cost. With that they can generate or they can produce electricity for their electricity consumption for the business and the home. So policies for sustainable development na ஒரு நாட்டோட வளர்ச்சிக்கு சமமான நிலையில தொடர்ச்சியா வளர்ந்துட்டே போகணும், அதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயத்த கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து முன்வைக்கும். அந்த விஷயம் தான் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் கன்வென்ஷனல் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி, நான் ரினியூவபிள் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி, நான் ரீப்ளேஷனபிள் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி. இந்த ரிசோர்ஸை நம்ம மெயினா டிபெண்ட் பண்ணி இருக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதுலேயே ஸ்பெஷலா பாத்தீங்கன்னா தெர்மல், ஹைட்ரோ பவரை இந்த எனர்ஜி வந்து நம்ம டிபெண்ட் பண்ணி இருக்கக்கூடாது. இது வந்து நம்ம நாட்டுடைய சுற்றுச்சூழலை பாதிக்கப்படும், இது நம்ம அவசியமா தவிர்க்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ அதுக்கு பதிலாக நேச்சுரல் ரிசோர்சஸ் ஆர் நேச்சுரல் ரினியூவபிள் ரிசோர்சஸ் இந்த ரிசோர்ஸை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதுலயே ஸ்பெஷலா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சோலார் பவர் பிளான்ட் இல்லை சோலார் எனர்ஜி டிபெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ இப்போ சாதாரண குடிமக்களோ இல்லை பெருசா வியாபாரம் பண்ற மக்களோ இல்லை பெரிய பெரிய தொழில்களோ என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா அவங்களுடைய அன்றாட வாழ்க்கைக்கு தேவையான மின்சாரத்தை சோலார் பேனல்ஸை டிசைன் பண்ணி இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணி அவங்க வந்து மின்சாரங்களை உற்பத்தி பண்ணி அவங்களே அதை வந்து பயன்படுத்திக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதனால வந்து இது ஒரு நல்ல விஷயம். இதை டிபெண்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தா நம்ம நாட்டுடைய சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. So Tamil Nadu is the state with the highest installed solar capacity in India. So this is a one mark question which will come in the fill in the blanks. So among the Indian states, Tamil Nadu is the state which has installed the high solar panels or having a high solar capacity panels in and around the Tamil Nadu state. So with the capacity of Tamil Nadu state has installed 1697 megawatts of powers. They are producing electricity through the solar panels. So the next concept is environmental policies. This is nothing but in the last slide we saw about the policies which will sustain or which will make steady or which will create or consistent in the development, that is known as sustainable policies that we saw in the last slide. So just like that, in this slide we are going to see about the policies which will protect the environment or which will safeguard the environment from the polluting and degrading or spoiling of surrounding environment. That is known as environmental policies of India. So this is the answer for from here to here. This is the answer for question number 2, fifth block. Environmental policies in India have been evolved considerably over the past 3 decades. So, in the last 30 years, decades means uh, 10 years, that is known as decades. So, in the last 30 years, India has been introduced or framed many environmental policies which will safeguard the natural resources, environment, human beings, everything in and around the India. So the environmental policies which will widely solve the issues or range of issues which will give solutions to the or protect the air, water and other living creatures which are surrounding us. And these environmental policies will conserve means protect or safeguard the complete environment. That is known as conservation means protecting and safeguarding the environment or without polluting the environment. That is known as conservation. India faces challenges in economic development which has to be achieved with limited resources, minimum externalities and in the presence of an uncertain climate. So the environmental policies are it's a challenges to the Indian government and India's economic development or India's sustainable development, because with the availability of limited and short available of resources and short supply of natural resources, and there is a not a fixed climate, uncertain climate which will frequently change for 3 months to 3 months. That is known as uncertain climate. This is known as uncertain climate, limited resources, minimum externality. So it is a complete challenge for the entire Indian government and the other things. Why means it's a because of very short availability of or limited availability of natural resources, and there is a frequent varying of weather and climates. How they will form the environmental policies to safeguard all these things. So this and all they have to consider, and it is a very challengeable to the framing environmental policies for Indian government and Indian nation. One of the approaches to overcome this challenge is through the path of sustainable development. So if you want frame any environmental policies that can be attained or achieved or that can be reached through the sustainable development. So environmental policies can be framed. So with that, how we can achieve the environmental friendly and other things means sustainable development. Sustainable development will definitely will help to safeguard the environment and the environmental policies of India. Supreme Court of India has interpreted means analyzing or estimating different areas, that is known as interpreted, and introduced new changes in environmental protection through the series of direction and judgments. So the Supreme Court of India, which is the supreme authority of India in a judicial concept. So Supreme Court of India மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு பலம் வாய்ந்த சட்டம் ஏற்றுதல பவரான உள்ள ஒரு அமைப்பு. அந்த அமைப்பு மூலமா நிறைய விஷயங்களை ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணி ஆய்வு பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறமா ஒரு என்வாயன்மெண்ட்டை பாதுகாக்கிற விஷயம் ஒன்று கொடுக்குறாங்க. அதுதான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆர்டிகல் 51A(G). ஸோ நம்மளுடைய அரசியல் அமைப்புல இந்த சட்டம் ஏற்றப்பட்டுள்ளது. என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, நம்ம சுற்றுச்சூழல்கள், காடு, ஏரி, குளம், மற்ற சரணாலயங்கள், விலங்குகள் எல்லாத்தையுமே நாம பாதுகாக்கணும் என்று சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா ஹஸ் கிரியேட்டட் ஆர் தே டிசைன்ட் a new part in the Indian Constitution to protect as a human being, as a citizen of India, each and every citizen and person have a right and duty and responsibility to safeguard and protect the or improve the natural environment like forest, lake, rivers and everything. So நம்ம வாழ சுற்றுச்சூழல் ஒவ்வொரு குடிமகனாக பிறந்த எல்லாருமே நம்ம இயற்கை வளங்களை காப்பாற்றணும் பாதுகாக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு இந்திய வரலாற்றுல இந்திய அரசியலமைப்புல ஒரு சட்டம் ஏற்றப்பட்டுள்ளது. அதுதான் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஆர்டிகல் 51 AG. So with this we are going to end this session and the lesson. So this is the answer for question number 4, 5th block. So these are the different environmental acts. So National Green Tribunal Act. So this act conveys that entire environment has to be protected and forest and other. So this National Green Tribunal Act of 2010, this act suggests that environment has to be protected, forest and other natural resources has to be conserved. Conserved means that should not be polluted or that should not be degraded through any way by the human beings. So if any of the human beings or any individual, they are spoiling and disturbing the environment or the forest or what are the resources in the nation, they will be fined or they will be jailed with this act. So not only this act, with all these acts. So Biological Diversity Act of 2002. So in the year 2002, there's a new act has been introduced, that is known as Biological Diversity Act. This means this act provides or suggests that entire biological diversity, that means what are all the living creatures, plants, animals, anything, any creatures that lives in the land, water or in and around the atmosphere, that has to be conserved and protected by the Indian citizen. They are their duties. That is known as with this act they are telling. So in the Biological Diversity Act மூலமா ஒவ்வொரு உயிரினங்களும் ஒவ்வொரு ஜீவராசிகளையும் வந்து எந்த ஒரு பாதிப்பும் உண்டு பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதை தவிர்த்து நம்ம ஏதாவது பண்ணா, இப்போ எப்படி நம்ம கொரோனா வந்து நம்ம பாதிப்பு ஏற்படுதோ அதே மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பாதிப்பு ஏற்படும்ன்ற காரணத்துக்காக தான் இந்த மாதிரி இயற்கையை பாதுகாக்கிற நிறைய சட்டத்திட்டங்கள் அரசாங்கம் மூலியமா ஏற்படுத்துறாங்க. அடிக்கடி நிறைய இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்றாங்க. இது மக்கள் யாரும் சரியா ஃபாலோ பண்றது இல்லை. அதனால தான் நம்ம வந்து இப்ப நிறைய சிக்கல்களை இயற்கைக்கு எதிராக போராடிட்டு இருக்கோம். So there is a third act, that is Environment Protection Act. So with this act, environment has to be protected and it has to be improved. So with the Environment Protection Act of 1986, so the environment should be not only protected and the environment has to be improved and progressed. So நம்ம சட்டம் மட்டும் நம்ம ஏற்றினா இல்லை இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணா அதை வச்சு ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்ற ஒரு சூழ்நிலை தள்ளப்பட்டதுனால இருக்கிற என்விரான்மெண்டல் சுற்றுச்சூழலை நம்ம வந்து அதோட தரத்தை நம்ம உயர்த்தணும் அப்படின்னு இந்த சட்டத்தை போட்டு அரசாங்கம் வந்து இந்த ஆக்ட் மூலியமா நம்ம என்விரான்மெண்ட்டை ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணது மட்டும் இல்லாம ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ண என்விரான்மெண்ட்டை இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அவர் நெக்ஸ்ட் 3 ஆக்ட்ஸ் ஆர் ஃபாரஸ்ட் கன்சர்வேஷன் ஆக்ட், Forest Conservation Act, which will stop deforestation and cutting of plant and other things. So water prevention means Water Prevention Act is nothing but water and other resources should not be polluted through any other means of activities by the human. That is known as Water Prevention Act. So Wildlife Protection Act, that means each and every animals that has to be protected which are survive in the environment. So with this we will end the sessions, and these are the answer for choose the correct and fill in the blanks, match the following. So mark in your textbook and start answering in your classworks. So with this we will end the session and lesson. We will see in the next lesson the remaining things. Thank you.